Welcome to Many a Day. If you watched the last video, we had woven a wicker couch for the Real Good Toys Beachside Bungalow. Today we're talking about the cushions for the couch, and I have a supply list for you to kind of give you an idea of what we used. We used the cotton fabric that we had used on the bar stools. We're going to do a peacock chair cushion as well as the wicker love seat cushion. Use crochet thread and the cotton fabric. You cut your fabric on a bias. If you need more information, I can guide you. But you basically are going to fold it in a triangular shape and you're going to cut across that. Gives you a little more flexibility when you're trying to cover cording. The cording we're using is the crochet thread. I cut 1/2-inch strips, and you'll see we did some that were just by themselves because that's the only size we needed for the peacock chair. But then for the wicker, I put 2 strips together, and this is just showing you how to cut it. If you know how to do this, you can skip forward. You're going to wrap the cording around the outside. If you look at bias tape with cording, you'll see several in the stores. They'll give you an idea of what it looks like if you've never done it. You're basically, if you're going to sew it, put those two right sides together, so it's going to make one long strip. To get the size, I just measured around the circumference of the shape. That's just a straight stitch. You can do this by hand, and that should give you an idea. So give yourself enough room if you're sewing on the sewing machine that you have the right needle set up and presser foot so that you can get right next to that cording, and you just want a straight stitch all the way down. You can do it on a serger if you have a serger, but again, you need enough room. So give yourself plenty of room if you have to work with that close proximity. We're talking miniatures, so it's not as easy. Then what I like to do is go ahead and pin it to the fabric. So you're putting right sides together, right side to right side. Sit it inside your chair and see if it's going to fit. If not, make your changes to the template. And again, we use the paper template from before, but I always like to check several times before I do that final stitching. And these are some close-ups just showing you how you're laying that corded edge on the fabric. I like to start in the center of the back and come around. And you're going to have 2 sets. You're going to have one set of cording for the top and one set of cording for the bottom. Now, if you don't want to put cording, you don't have to. You can just stitch that one long strip that I showed you in the cutout to the front and the back. Leave an opening, stuff it, and you're done. But if you want to make it a little more formal, you might want to try cording. And the crochet thread that we used for the weaving was perfect. So, and you know, the couch has a different shape to it, angles a little in the front, so you have to take all that into consideration. And so what I did is I sewed the cording to each side, as I mentioned before. Now you're going to have to miter corners if you've got an angled or a squared off corner. So, and if you have questions, send me your comments. I'll try to answer them for you. When it's a rounded corner, you're going to have to walk it around the corner to make sure that you don't catch too many pieces of fabric in there. So this is a finished side, one side, and then you got to turn around and do the other side. So a front and a back, so to speak. So those are the 2 sides for the couch. And I just had some extra cording. Leave an opening so you can stuff it. I also suggest you press as you go along. It makes a neater effect. I also measured again to see if it fit. Now, options. You could use polyfill. You could use polyfill batting. You could use cotton batting. You could use scraps of old t-shirts or, scrap fabric. There are a variety of things you could use. Depends on what you want. But we found something even more fun dealing with our recycle. Cotton balls. And if you open a cotton ball, you'll find it's actually one long sheet. So you could lay those inside and you would have basically cotton batting. Something you might have around the house, something you can get from the dollar store. An inexpensive way to stuff your pieces. So this is just showing you, if you open up a cotton ball, what it would look like. And was kind of fun. Showed the grandkids and said, now guess what the filling is. After they felt it, they said, it's cotton. I thought that was pretty cool. So then once you stuff it, then you're going to finish it. And to finish it, you're going to stitch those open ends. And it just shows you when you lay all your cotton ball batting on top of each other. And then you can lay it inside the cushion. I just kind of roll it up like a cigar roll, stick it inside, and then flatten it out. Take something, a skewer, a pencil, something that you can kind of push it inside. Now this is showing cording for the peacock chair. Same concept, but I didn't have to sew two pieces together because it's a smaller cushion. You know, if you have floor cushions in the dollhouse, you might want to make some of them with this concept. I hope these pictures aren't too difficult. I was trying to show how it looks when you've got it under the needle. Now, I tried something different. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm showing it to you because we need to be honest. I decided to do the long strip, sew the cording to both sides of the strip, and try to sew it with a sewing machine on that small circle. I got the first one done, but to get the second side, it was going to be impossible. So I get a little frustrated at times, and I just pulled out my needle and thread and scissors and stitched it up in just a couple minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and it was finished. So it's up to you what you want to do, but I just showing you some options, and maybe you won't have as much frustration as I. Maybe you're more experienced than I am, but I just thought, good and bad, I'll show you all of it. So this is the finished, where it's both sides sewn. That's what it looks like when you flip it right side out. And it's good to make sure your pattern is where you want it. I'm fitting it in the chair before I put the batting in. And you can have it really tight, or you can have it a little bit more comfy. And this particular chair was not a circle on the seat. It looked like it was, but when you measured it, it was actually elliptical. So you can see I'm just using the rubber part of the pencil. A lot of times I use skewers or knitting needles or crochet hooks and stuff the batting. And you want to make sure it's nice and tight, and it fits just fine. Don't want to overfill it. Depends on what you want. You want it really firm or soft. You could even use the bean bags. You can buy those polyfill beads. So that just gives you an idea, and hope you liked it. Hope it was helpful. It was a lot of fun. The different fabric you use will make a difference. If you're using cotton, it's not going to have as much give. If you use something with a polyester or a knit, it's going to move a lot more on you. Thank you for watching. I hope you will continue to watch, and appreciate if you'd subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Have a great day.